Hi.
Sanjay,
I,
you're
I,
enjoying the weather on a holiday.
I'm sleeping on my balcony and I was just dozing off.
That's what happens. You're enjoying your holiday or you're enjoying your lockdown. શું કરો છો?
Arey bhai, I'm not lost out at all. Uh,
Uh,
I, I, I am just, one second. I
See you.
One second. I'm doing it for Zoish now. Yeah. Hello. I'm absolutely fine. Yeah. Working.
Very good. Nice seeing you after so many days.
Yeah.
Before we go ahead, we must tell you what's happening. This is a candid teeth to teeth interview.
What
It
is
is general fun. And I know the way you're attending all the webinars, the way you're coming on television, people are asking you so many questions. We want to ask you certain things of the man behind Hafiz Contractors.
Oh, man
हाँ,
behind.
तुम्हें मजा आता है.
Huh?
Let us understand each other. Okay? Sir, your face is getting cut. Your face is getting cut. Your
Okay,
face
now.
is getting cut. The camera needs to be kept slightly far. The phone needs to be kept far away.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Don't lean forward. Come back.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, perfect, perfect.
Okay.
It's perfect. So to all, no, sir, your face is getting cut, sir.
Haan ji?
Your face is getting cut, sir. Okay, you got to get a little higher. You got to get a little higher or get the phone done. Hello?
The phone higher.
Yeah, yeah, perfect, perfect. Your head must come a little higher.
Ek minute.
Okay, good.
Like that?
Are perfect. Little perfect. Sir, people want to see you, they don't want to see me. You are the star. Are perfect, sir. Perfect. That's you. Now we start. To all the viewers, we begin. This is the one and only Hafiz Contractor. Very few people know about the man himself. The most simple man, humble man, man full of gratitude who I know for more than 35 years.
Colorful shirt. Colorful shirt.
Can you hear me? No, sir. I said the most humble man full of gratitude who I have ever met in my lifetime is you. Everything else comes second, sir. Everything else comes second. People must know that you are one man who got educated in a small town called Nasik. And from there, when you came out from Columbia University, you were something else. Sir. And how you created your career with nothing. And to all the viewers, they must know that he owes the greatest gratitude first to his mother. He lost his father even before he was born. He lost his father 15 days before even he saw sunlight in this world. And with all the gratitude to his mother and the blessings of his mother, he is today the one and only Hafiz Contractor. Sahib, correct me if I am wrong.
Chalo, I think let's talk about...
We'll talk about work. So, Sahib, let's just get down to a very realistic picture. Tell all the viewers, because many of them are students, some of them are your contemporaries, some of them are from different places. When you got into architecture, you, at that time, were not getting into a college of architecture. Can you tell them how the whole magic worked of the universe and how you reached Columbia University?
I was not getting admission into architectural college because my marks were not good. I had only about 40% marks. No, I think 40 or 50% marks, and architectural college needed more. So I was going to join the army. My aunt tore off my letter of admission to Khadakwasla, or whatever I was called for interview. So I was going to join the police force. So long and short of it, I joined Jai Hind College because my mother told me that do your graduation and then join the police force. So I joined Jai Hind College, and in Jai Hind College I was learning French because French was, my weak subject. So I was going to my cousin's office to learn French, and there I saw a guy drawing a window detail. And at that time, every door, window we had to draw because there were no ready-made things available. So I told the guy that this is not correct. So he said, how the hell do you know? And I repeated this story so many times now, I don't know what to do. Okay, but anyway. And uh, finally, when my cousin came, he says, yeah, you're right. How do you know? So I said, I've been drawing this. This is my pastime. And so he asked me to draw. And then finally, he said that he asked me to draw, design a house. So I designed a house. Then he drew an axonometric. So, which I said, it is from top. So he said, yeah, I drew that. And he says, stop everything and join architecture today. So with my other cousin, who is now in America, with his help uh, and the help of Mr. Dallas, he wrote a letter to Mr. Vandrekar, and that's how I got the admission. Mr. Vandrekar said that your marks are very bad, but if you do well in your entrance exam, I will take you. In the entrance exam, I got A plus, and that's how the life started.
Fantastic.
And as God would, uh, I was not a very good student in school because I used to fail in virtually most of the subjects except art, science, and geography or something like that. Few subjects I used to pass, but all languages I was awful. So finally, uh, in architecture, when they used to teach, I used to say, oh my God, this is called psyrography, this is called this is called that. And I started sending first class. And only in the third year, I stood first in the class, but second class first because I was interested in going around and all those kind of things. Okay. And finally, at the time of my final year, which I was in a morning college. I used to go to morning college. So I got out of 200 in design, I got 96.
Wow.
And after I did my diploma, Academy of Architecture and JJ College, both together had an exhibition of all my works at Jahangir Art Gallery. And it is at that time that I met Mr. Dallas again. And he asked me whether what am I going to do again. So I said, I'm thinking of going abroad and I'm collecting money. So he asked me, oh, who's your, because I had to get money from my trust. So he says, who is your guarantor? I said, I don't have a guarantor. He asked me about my father and all this. I said that my father died this. So he said, okay, come to my office tomorrow with your form. So I went to the office and I was scared of him. Mr. Dallas was a very, very friendly guy. So he's looking at me. He's asking my name. So he wrote the name. And I had not written the amount also. And he signed down below. And he's giving me the form. So I said, you haven't written the amount. So he says, no, I know. But whatever you want to write, I know you will pay your loan. So I don't mind. Now, the best part is that I got the scholarship from R.D. Setna, for which he was a guarantor, and I got the scholarship from Jane Tata. I was a Tata scholar. Now the Tatas never took a single guarantor or anything. The Tatas only asked for a character letter from a distinguished person. So, Mr. Pacey Jagas, who was the director of ACC at that time, and we were doing some when I was in Kharegad's office, we were working for ACC. So he knew me, so I went to him and he gave me a character certificate. And on that, the Tatas gave me 25,000 or 20, I think it was 25,000 or it was 25,000 because I remember I'd collected something like one lakh or something. And okay, the best part is that I graduated at Columbia and I was determined to come back. And I knew that if I start staying for 1 or 2 days also in America, America is such a country. It's
You'll
really
stay forever.
it's beautiful in every way. People are beautiful. The place is beautiful. I said I'll never be able to come back. So to not to have that temptation, I graduated in the afternoon. I caught a flight in the night. Not one night also I stayed there.
That is you.
I
That
came
is you.
back. Yeah. And luckily, at Karegat, I was getting an associateship and all that, and I started doing some interior works. So in the first year, I earned enough. I went to Tata's and returned the money in the first year. They had given me, I remember they had given me some 15 lakhs as loan and 5 lakhs as a gift, or 20 lakhs as loan and 5 lakhs, I don't remember. But I returned that money in the first year. And they were also surprised that, people who have taken loan for so many years have not returned it. So I returned it. And I did not return anything of R.D. Setna because they had my insurance and they had the guarantor also. So I get a call from R.D. Setna that, hey, you have returned all the money of J. Tata and you have not returned a single naya paisa of ours. I said, I will return your money next year. He said, no, you can't do like that. If you are giving all the money to them, you should give half. So I said, no, I've already done that. So he insisted. I remember it was Mr. Atia at that time for R.D. Setna. So I said, okay. And I still had money. I'd earned enough that first year. I still had money in my account. So I wrote a check for R.D. Setna also and returned the money in the first year.
Very good.
I think that's the character certificate which has counted. And I can assure you, I can tell you another thing about Tata's. When we were there, those were not the days of telephones and all those kind of things. And to get money also, it was so difficult. When I was about to leave for America, Mr. Maligambala, he was the director of Tata, and he asked me that, who's going to repatriate all your money? Because I had collected 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 from different trusts. My mom had given me 10,000, I remember. And, little. The first 15,000 I had earned from a client called Govani. Yeah. So that also was a big thing. So he said that, I said, I have my mother only. So he says, see, it will be very difficult for her to repatriate all your money. You give it to us. We will do So he was virtually like a father. And he used to send the fees. He used to send the expenses. And not only that, whenever he wrote 1 or 2 letters during the time I was studying there, but what a fantastic letter. I wish I had preserved those. Like a father. I saw your report. You're doing well. Keep on doing well. This. I have sent you this money. But if you need any more money or if you need anything else, in New York, where my college was, Columbia, this is the address of the person who is in Tata's over there. This is his number. Please call him up if you need anything, anytime. Now, I think that was the great thing. Uh, and I really owe a lot to them, the Tatas, because they gave me the real push, and they, managed all the money and made my going abroad and coming back successful.
That's what I
Okay.
said, Saib. God is kind. You're very full of gratitude. And I think that is your middle name, Saib. Sir, when you came back just now and said something about coming back from New York on the same day, in the same night, I want you to recollect. I don't know whether you remember, but you were doing a project for DLF in Chandigarh. And I remember one day you went to Chandigarh and they asked you to do some drawings. There were no computers, nothing. You flew back, you worked through the night, you went back in the morning back to Chandigarh. Saib, can you tell all the viewers of your this attitude of meeting deadlines and having working around the clock? I also in the same question will tell you another thing. I still remember one day you came back from Baroda and you called me from Baroda. The mobile phones were on, and you said you wanted to see a drawing. I came to meet you in the evening. You said I'm coming at 7 o'clock flight. You saw me at 11 p.m. in the night because you had no time. And you told me, come tomorrow. And then you said, I'm going in the morning to Ahmedabad. I said, how did you do? Why you coming from Ahmedabad to Baroda? And I still remember you telling me, Keswani, you don't work hard. I'll come back. I'm working 4 or 5 hours. I'll go back in the morning flight. Can you share something about this secret of how you manage your time? How you manage your time?
See, there is nothing like managing time. The only thing is that you should feel. Everybody keeps on telling me that how you work so hard. Today also, the whole morning I was working. Once your interview is over, I'm going to start working. We are making a very, very big presentation to the government of India day after tomorrow. And I'm showing, I think you should hear that from somewhere, in the media or something like that. Uh, See, now let us get to the work point. For me, I enjoy my work. So to me, it's not a work. For me, it is like, say, you like playing, somebody likes playing cards, somebody likes, playing golf. For me, it's like that. I feel that I'm playing golf. And, whenever a client is there, like I'm playing golf with the client. And when he tells me something that, oh, I want this or I want that, and a lot of times clients, have their demands, maybe quite absurd because, the client has got the right to demand what he wants. And sometimes I tell in my mind that, oh my God, it's quite absurd what he is wanting. But to achieve those absurd demands and make a client happy, I feel, really thrilled. And, that's the game I keep on playing. And for me, it's not work. For me, it's really pleasure. And I love it. Because, see, if I had gone into the army or if I had gone into something else, here was a thing which, as a small kid, I used to keep on drawing uh, and design, bikes and guns. And that was my favorite pastime. And when I was in the fourth standard, the teacher, Mrs. Gupta, had told me that I'm a useless student, and when I grow up, I should become an architect. So
So
my
where is that teacher
pastime,
now, sir?
Haji,
So many of them will tell that teacher she was wrong.
she died a few years back. I used to meet her, and uh, uh, she was a very nice teacher. There's a very nice story about her also, which is just out of the Hindi movie. I'd like to tell you that. Once, after she left our school, she had gone to Uti and she was teaching there. So I had found out where she is. So I said that I'll go and meet her. So the next, when I was there, I went to that school And that school said that, oh, she has just left a few days back. She got retired and she has left. So I said, okay. So I asked that person, can you give me the address where she is now? So from Ooty, there was another small town far off, and they gave me the address. So one day after, lunch or after tea or God knows what, I decided that I'll go and meet her. So I'm going I had taken a cab, I'm going, and then I'm inquiring, oh, where is this? So they say, oh, further off. Then I said, okay, I think I'm missing the whole thing. So then I said, let me go and ask somebody, because all this time I used to ask on the road. So I saw a house, and I said, let me go and ask that, go in the house and ask them, where is this address? So I go to the house, knock at the door, and a young man comes out. So, and he says, yes. So I said, you see, I'm looking out for this address, and it was written Mrs. Bharucha, this. No, Mrs. Gupta. And then, her maiden surname was Mrs. Bharucha. So some people knew her as Mrs. Bharucha. So I said, I'm looking for her. So he says, oh, how do you know her? So I said, she was my teacher when she was in Boys Town. So he says, oh, I see. So he said, you want to meet her? I said, yes, I want to go to her house. I want to meet her. He says, please come in my house. She has come to meet me. She's also my teacher. And she was sitting in the living room. Just imagine a story out of Hindi movie only.
No, I'll tell you, sir, this is the law of attraction. And coming back to that, whatever you believe in happens, what we call the secret. And I'm relating something to you now. And the little I know of you and the more I know of you, you're one man, when you say something, you say it with so much of intensity, it happens. And I'm coming back to this. Now, when you said all these stories, tell me one thing. You have such a large organization, 600 plus people. Everybody is so positive. There are so many positive vibrations. Everything goes correctly. But I've always wanted to ask you, and I'm asking you today on behalf of everybody, that what is your opinion, what is your take on the one man Hafiz pencil? Let me finish my sentence. One man Hafiz pencil versus the collaborative design show of everybody in the office. Because your pencil is mightier than the sword. When you draw, I've seen it. It just flows. Your pencil starts flowing. No computer, no drawing, nothing. Tame Gujarati ma bolo, you have your cup of tea and you pick it, you do your dip chai and you take that pencil. What is that one man pencil drawing? How does it all happen with you? Where does that inspiration come from, sir?
Boss, it's like inspiration comes from people like you. Like say the client comes and I see him, the way he talks, the way he demands things, and the desire to satisfy that demand. And I would say that God has been very kind. He has gifted me with this, that I don't take much time than just a few seconds to come to a
millisecond. I always said millisecond.
And that is just a gift. Yeah. It's like, somebody can paint well, somebody can calculate well, somebody is a great speaker, So God has given me this gift, and I'm thankful to God for that. That's it. Then there's nothing else. There's nothing else. It's not the pencil. It's not me. It's Him. And that is what. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else.
I said to say, you are very humble. You credit everything to God. There's another saying about you, sir. Everything about you is hard work. I will recollect one example which you will not remember. But I remember one day I came to you, and as usual, I put my phone off. And you got angry and you said that, why are you putting your phone off? I said, Saib, if I leave it on, I'm a contractor. It will start ringing. You cracked the joke. You said, I'm the real contractor. You are only a contractor. And the phone started ringing. And I said, Saib, go phone. I'll say, let me do my work. And you said, work and work, or no work and no work. How is it that you keep working? You don't tire. And on that, I want to ask you, how do you see yourself evolving in the future? How long can this go on, sir? How do you see this whole thing evolving?
I see. I have always been after a solution, and today I am after. I have been whenever I make a presentation to colleges and talk to people. A lot of people ask me, "What's my final wish?" And I always been saying, a house, an affordable house for every Indian. That's my final wish. And today we are working on a solution for an affordable house for every Indian. And not only that, with that, we are working on employment. With that, we are working on infusion in the economy. And God willing, and I'm sure it will, our Prime Minister uh, uh, and whoever looks at that scheme, they will really love it. And once they approve it, that is what I want. And if and God willing, it will happen, because what I'm doing is the right thing for our country. Uh, and God willing, uh, you'll hear the news in 2 days, my dear.
Oh, great. God is kind. God is kind. Sir, tell me something about your soft-hearted project of the coastal project, which you dreamed, which you spoke to the government, you did everything, you made those presentations. I remember those 8x4 boards, and now when it's all coming to life, how do you feel?
See, it's not coming to life.
It's your idea, sir.
Yeah.
It all germinated in the mind of Hafiz contractor.
No, I remember it was the first time Shiv Sena and BJP were together and that formed the government. I remember we had a presentation at this, what is that, Chambers of Commerce and all those kind of things. And but it was a great plan. The plan was that right from Priyadarshini Park, there will be a park right up to Worli, about 500 meters wide, and that will transform it will give so much of greenery. Not only that, then when it comes near Worli, I had said that, all the nalas should be converted, and the sides of the nalas should have the greenery. So the greenery will penetrate inside the belly of whole of Mumbai Island. Then it will go all the way to Bandra, and it will penetrate right up to where your BKC is. And that way, the whole idea was that anybody who comes from the airport wants to go to Nariman Point or they will be driving in the midst of a park. Where do you go on a Sunday? Today, where do we go? We go and meet some friends, or we go and eat outside, or we go for a movie. I want to go for a walk. I can't go. Marine Drive, there is hardly any place to walk, because the amount of people who are coming on Marine Drive and how much is poor Marine Drive. And if you look at that way, Mumbai is one place which is an island, but only 10% of the coast is open to the public. Now that's a very, very sad situation. Another thing, anybody who will come to Mumbai and say, "Oh, you are on an island," I can't even have a single restaurant which is on the sea. I can take that person and sit and eat. There is nothing like that. I think it's a very sad situation that we have got entangled into certain kind of laws. Okay, see, laws are made for the betterment of a person or people. As soon as the situation changes, you should change the laws. You should not kept on, holding on to certain law and say, "Oh, this is the law." The trouble with our country is that once the law is made, to get rid of it, it's very, very difficult. And even they know that there is, deficiencies in that law, they will not get rid of it. They will keep on tweaking it, and in tweaking it, it is getting more and more complicated. What is about this CRZ law? What is the CRZ for a city like Mumbai? Yes, CRZ is fine for a place where you have, it's not an urban city, okay? It's like say places, and it's a little bit rural, where you are destroying the nature, where you are destroying the coast. Yes, it is necessary, but in a city like Mumbai, the CRZ should be the opposite. That more people should be allowed to stay on the coast so that they have better openness. Over here, they will allow more people in Girgaon, where the buildings are so congested, but they will not allow it on Marine Drive or on anywhere near Worli or anywhere near the coast, which is a wrong thing. And that should be seen and changed. I remember the first time CRZ came, I remember late Charles Correa. He had asked for a meeting. I was there. He was there. And he was also trying to convince all the people that this is not the right law. But nobody listened. And today, after so many years also, we are still suffering. And I can tell you, if they take off the CRZ law, Mumbai will be a different place. And that is what I'm not saying you take off CRZ and destroy the whole coast. No, you should have the coastline preserved. Nature, preservation of nature is the most important thing. And today, with global warming, climate change, this is the only thing that our generation should know about it, think of it, and do it. Because we are the first generation, now you and me, but our kids, they are the first generation who will realize, or we should also realize, that we have been doing something wrong with the nature, and it is going in a bad way. And we will be the last generation that
you're paying the price, no today.
Make a difference. If we change our habits and do the right thing, then we will make the difference and stop that change. At least we will stop at that level that we don't topple.
Correct.
So we have to take care of nature. I'm not against CRZ. I'm not against a lot of all these things. We have to take care. But not in a city like Mumbai. City like Mumbai, you should open up the coast. Open up the coast. Okay?
True. Tell me another thing, sir. When you say about open up and now we are paying the price, COVID, natural laws of justice have arrived, we want to discuss. We go back on a very, very mild topic, sir. Very, one last question and then we'll get to a few other questions. You've developed actually many townships. If you look at full Gurgaon, it's dedicated to contractor. You look at Powai, it's dedicated to contractor. Infosys is what you did. BKC, you actually drew the plan. I still remember with you, when you were drawing with Shailesh Mahimtura and others all sitting down together and you made the first building standing there with ILFS. Before that was Citibank. Nothing. How do you feel today? Where do you think we'll evolve after now? Where do you think we'll evolve? Gives you a sense of pride. All that I know. All that is great. But where do you see it now? What's the future?
I think, I would say that life is just starting. All that is what is done is done. And today we have to look forward and think about how we can change our cities, how new cities are going to come about, what our Prime Minister is saying, 100 smart cities, what is all about that, how should this smart cities come about, and with our population and our demographics of how much of our population is below 30, which is more than 60%. They will need so many more things. So many more cities are going to come about. We should design and plan our cities the way with the Indian formula, not with the European formula, not with the Singapore formula. And that is what is needed. And my prayer is that I hope the government realizes that we are not Singaporeans, we are not Europeans. They do not have the population of our kind, and uh, the Europeans have a lot of land. Uh, we don't have that much of land. Where we are going to grow our food? What about our food securities? Uh, all of that, and then you have to design. You have to think about our wildlife, because whatever God has created, uh, it is not that wildlife is wild. Whenever I go anywhere on a site also, and I ask somebody, ये कौन सा झाड़ है? साहब जंगली है, जंगली है. I said जंगली नहीं है. This is the right tree. This is the local tree. मेरे को तुम साला जंगली है. You should not cut that. So you have to think about that. So
Right. Right, but this only I'll ask you. You said, you have a lot of, you are not aware of this, but there are two factions today with the great office contractor. There are people who admire you, who love you. There are a group of people who criticize you in terms of your design and building. We all know inside. And having said that, you said Singapore, you said European. Everybody says that glass is the future. Is Hafiz contractors old days and saying for last so many years. You brought so much glass here. You brought Singapore here. You brought New York here. I mean, since this show, I want to end now in a different way. I'm not end, but I want to continue. It's also sponsored by our good friend Zakir Bhai and his son Ahad, from the Zach World of Facades. Tell me, where do you feel is the future of facades now? With COVID, 100 issues here.
Let us talk about glass. Let us talk about materials. If you, the first time when I joined architecture as in the architectural college, and I'd gone to my village and I'd met my granny. And my granny asked me, "Ha, dikra, always su courage." Means, in Gujarati, so she said, "What are you doing now?" So I told her that, Mamaiji means, granny, I joined architecture. So she says, "What is that?" So I said that is, how you design buildings. So she says, kadiyo. Kadiyo, the mason. So I said, no, it's not the kadiyo. Okay. But what I'm trying to get to, and this is one, and once another time she was telling me that, oh, how nice our old buildings were. They were in stone, and she used the word dharkam. Dharkam means, solid and strong. And she was criticizing the RCC buildings. And she was saying that our walls are so thick and your walls are so thin. And she was criticizing that. Today, she's no longer there. At that time, she was some 1995. She's no longer there. Today, you hardly see any stone buildings. Okay? Now the stone buildings have gone. Okay? Now the time is of concrete buildings, and there are new people. My granny is gone. There are new people. They are now criticizing the glass building, and they will start criticizing the steel building. Times have to pass. New materials have to come, and unless and until the material has stood the test of time, and when somebody uses a material, it is not me or he. It has been already passed by hundreds and thousands of people. That's why it has come in the market. And it is the new material. As far as glass is concerned, I'm very bullish about it. You get different types of glass. And for a country like ours, where we have to house so many millions and millions of people, we have to go vertical We have to go high rise. You can't think about, concrete. But concrete will be there, but you can't think about brick and thick walls. Their load will be more. Earthquake loads will be more. Live loads will be more. If live loads are more, you have to design, still heavier structures. So it will be more expensive. So glass, in fact, if you just look at glass and brick, glass is more expensive. But what is the repercussion of that, of glass, on the whole building? It is making the building cheaper. It is giving you more area to use. And as far as heat and reflection of heat, types and types of glasses are there. There are how many types of glass? This reflection and that reflection. Okay, you can use single, double, laminated. But I don't have to tell you all that. Okay, so
No, I'm only feeling happy. I'm going to retire late in life.
okay, so
I don't have to retire early now.
glass is the material of the future. Now just think about it. When you make brick, what are you telling me? Instead of glass, use brick only. When you make brick, you have to take out the soil from top of the any land. 6-7 feet of that soil is completely gone for so many years, unless and until you have a new floods and the soil is replenished. So when you burn the brick, fossil fuels are, these are all old ways. With the kind of population that we have, in fact, I'm thinking that there will be a new material, and that is the time has come. If you look at every 100, 150 years or 120 years, a new material has come. And right now, the world is moving much, much, much faster. When was the first reinforced concrete building made? It was in, I think, 1905. A lady designed the first tower in California or something like that. Today, now it is 100 and say 15 or 20 years. And we'll have new material. Then we will go still further. We'll go still higher. Before reinforced concrete, nobody used to go more than 4 or 5 story. Today, we are about to 60 and 50 and all of them is normal. So
Normal.
has to go on. And if there is nothing wrong with any material, it's the way you use it and the way and how you apply it. Don't criticize any material that this is bad and this is good. Okay?
Thank you. Sir, now I'm going to ask you a few hot shot questions, what we call hot shot questions. Only 15 minutes to go.
You're keeping on asking.
Now only hot shot, 5-7 questions, all quick answers for you.
Okay.
You told us on, you educated everybody.
Okay.
Everybody wants to know that about Hafiz Contractor and all the lovely women in his life. And the story goes that you went to one showroom and you met one very lovely lady there in Shah Mahuja. Can you tell us the story of that lady and how she came to your office once for a job? You never gave her a job. And finally, what happened, sir? Very important for all of us, sir.
Baba, my life, say I had all, my life is always controlled by women. And I'm very happy about that. I didn't have a father. I didn't have a grandfather from my mother's side. I didn't have a grandfather from my father's side. I had my mother. I had my granny on my mother's side. I had my granny from my father's side. So three moms. Okay. I have been always taken care of.
Sir, your face is getting little cut, sir.
Okay. See, the thing is that
perfect.
I always had all the women in my life who have contributed to my life. Okay. So I had, I told you all the mothers. Then my mother, my Masi, okay, at the school also, the teachers, though I had a fantastic principal, and though I had lots and lots of superb teachers at Academy of Architecture also. And I feel that yes, when I used to work in the office, uh, uh, and though my mother was alone in the house, if I'm telling that I'm working at the office, she would send me a dabba in the afternoon. She will send me a dabba in the night.
Arey wah.
Huh?
Super.
So my mother helped me for the time that I was working and I was not married. After I was married, okay, my wife has been always there to help me. Though unlike my mother, who never said a single word, my wife sometimes says a single word. That what are you doing? This. But she also is there to help me. So I am very, very lucky. As far as women are concerned, they have been my backbone. You can say the backbone, you can say anything. And uh, I have been always helped by women.
Sir, but there's another story about you which very few people know, sir.
Okay.
This young lady who came to your office for a job, you never gave her a job. You went to Sham Ahuja, you saw her there, you married her. Matter is over. The lovely lady's name is Pearl. She's at home in the lockdown, I bet, right now. Tell us something about your honeymoon, sir. Most important story, sir.
Arre Baba.
Honeymoon, sir.
See, what you're talking about, that I never gave her a job. At that time, we were only about some 8, 10 or 15 boys in the office. We all were very young. I remember none of us were married at that time. And lots of other girls also wanted to join the office. And I never used to appoint any girls because I knew that if one girl
True story.
all these boys
100%.
just going round on her, and nobody will work. So I never used to appoint any girls. And so the same thing when Pearl also came, I never appointed her. And so that's how it went, and she came to office first, and then I saw her at Sham Ahuja, and I met her at Sham Ahuja. And then she says, oh, she's looking for a house. So one day I called her, and there was some house really available. So I called her, and I met her. And then I thought, I think this is the right girl. And I started
Correct.
meeting her. And you're talking about honeymoon. I'll talk about my marriage day. I was getting married at the Taj. The reception was at Taj. It was at 6 o'clock. I left my office at 4:30 or 5 from my office. Just went there, wore a suit, stood there, and that's it. So the honeymoon also, the second day was the honeymoon. That's it. And I came to office.
That's it. No, that's how dedicated you are, sir. Now tell us another story about your driving skills.
All these are in the mind, marriage, honeymoon, it's all
Tell everybody about your driving skills. Your
my
driving skills, driving license, driving instructor. These are the stories we want to know, sir.
Baba, before going abroad, my cousin had told me that you better learn driving and then come. And I think it was Janjira company where I had given money for learning driving. And I had to collect money from trust to go abroad. So this driving, my slot was at about 4:30 in the evening. So instead of learning driving, I used to tell that guy, "Kare Baba, please drive me for this one trust to another trust," because I had to go and appear and ask them about money. So learning driving was beside. I used them as a cab, went to each and every trust, got my money, and by the time for those 18, 20 days that they used to give went off, and I never learned driving, but I'm comfortable. One should
Very comfortable, sir.
one should know what has more important. I think driving for me is not important.
Correct. That is what I want. That's what I want everyone to know, that the great office contractor has work on his head all the time with passion and with determination, discipline, devotion. Even your driving is not important. Someone drives you around. आपने खबर चले sir. We know. Sir, just last 5 questions, 6 questions, actually 7.
My questions more.
Only say yes or no. Yes or no. Rapid fire. We've got only 7 minutes to go, sir.
Okay.
Saturday night. Saturday night. Netflix with friends or chill at home?
There is a form.
Netflix at home or you want to go out with friends?
Sometimes Netflix, sometimes go with friends.
Right? Sometimes not challenge, sir. You have to give the correct answer. Because the next question you'll say that sometimes.
See, there is nothing hard and fast. I really would like to be, at home with my very, very close friends or relatives, with a small gathering, talk, eat, and go home and go to sleep. That is what I like today. So, and yeah, I like watching movie every night because that really unwinds me and I'm happy. So I watch movie every night.
That second question, sir. Sunday morning, do you prefer a lehenga and a sadra or a pant and a bushert?
Only when I'm in the bed, I wear lehenga and sadra. Always pant and a bushert or a shirt. Once I'm out of my bath, it's always pant and a shirt.
3 words to define Hafiz.
3 words?
3 words to define Hafiz.
God has been very kind. No luck without hard work. These are the mantras which I follow. And that's it. Keep on doing your things and God will take care.
Third question, next question. Niranjan as a friend or Surendra as a friend? Niranjan Irandani or Surendra Irandani?
See,
who's a friend? I never said anything about work.
See, who is my friend? I would say both are my friend. Both are my friend. I'm not being diplomatic. Let me be very frank. Because Surendra has always been a younger brother. Niranjan has always been an elder brother. Like the amount of people whom Niranjan has introduced me to as a client and said that, oh, you must give work to him as an elder brother. Whereas Surendra as a younger brother would come to the office, give me a book to read and sit with me and say this. So both have been with me. Both are friends and both have helped me tremendously. Niranjan as an elder brother, in how the elder brother puts you, ye kar. He was the first guy to take me to Subramaniam, who was at that time, the first time he took me was to Kakotkar. He was I think MMRDS MD, then Subramaniam, then, so he has introduced me to all the right guys. And Surendra has been always there with me at the lower level with work. So you cannot say this is more important, that is more important. In life, everything is important. And that the complete circle, when it comes and meets, that makes life. Okay? So
there are 3 minutes to go. In office, if you have 3 top people with you right now, you've got 600 people. Very difficult for you to define who's 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. But 3 people, Karl, Nilav and Rajiv, on a 0 to 10 scale.
See, I have...
Ekdam plan to the question.
No. See, you are asking questions which has to have a proper answer. I have always said that to run an office, you need all kind of people. Today,
I'm waiting for this answer. This is what everybody should know.
Today, in my office, now the office has gone big. People take interviews and all of that. When I used to employ people, I used to look at him and I used to ask him certain questions. And if I found him a good worker and a hard working guy, I would employ him. And for the first 1 week or 10 days, 15 days, I would just put him in the office and let him do some work. And then I would realize what is his caliber. And as per his caliber, then I would give him work. I need guys of all kinds. I need guys like what Carl can handle a job, Nilab can't. What Nilab can, Carl can't. What Rajiv can. So I need all of those guys. And you only mentioned 3 guys. There are
I said you have the whole office. Whole office. Everybody.
No.
There are so many people.
In work, there are no 3 situations only. There are many, many, many situations. Some of the guys, these 3 people will not be able to handle them because they will not fight with them. But I need them also. So there are guys. Everyone is useful. It's right from the peon to the topmost. You just can't say that the topmost guy is there and you are happy. If that Datta, my peon, is not there, nobody will make my coffee. Nobody will do this, that, and my work won't get done. So everyone in the office is useful. Somebody is useful for doing intellectual things. Somebody is useful for doing low down things. We need everyone. But we need one thing. We need a dependable person.
Correct.
If you need him, he should be there.
And with that, we come to the end of this show, but very important, I must tell you.
Dependable.
Sorry. Very good, sir. I'm coming to this. So nice of you to spend so much time with us. Bring your whole heart out. You're a man, again, I repeat, with so much of gratitude, love, affection, admiration. And you have ended it so correctly that from the peon to the president, everybody is important in an organization. And God has been kind to you, sir. God has been kind to you. You are blessed. We are blessed. You have a lovely family from Pearl, Zois, Vyas, I think everybody. God has been so kind, sir. So nice of you to spend so much time with us, sir. So much time with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.